Saw recently about the what do you call it? People rushing the Capitol, the pro-Trump people, and deaths. Hmm. You know, let me ask you this: whether you like Trump or not, whether you're pro-Trump or not, are you patriotic? Do you believe the values that America was founded on? The whole truth, liberty, and justice thing. If you believe in that, regardless if it was Trump, if you thought there was a conspiracy, or not really conspiracy, but if there was an intentional um, corruption going on within our government, within our politics, which most people actually do believe that on certain levels there are. But if you believe that it was to the extent where they could actually get votes to disappear, manipulate the electoral process, stuff like that, what would you do? Would you think that we should sit back and just, let it happen? Or do you think there should be something more an extreme where people might actually rise up and try to take the power back? You know, it happened before, right? A long time ago. But who's to say it won't happen again? Now it might not happen this time, but maybe it will, and maybe it should. Maybe it should. I don't know if the electoral process was rigged. I don't know if the Democrats were, buying people off and stuff like that, and accepting bribes and hiding votes. And I don't know anything about that. I mean, how would I know? Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it possible? I think it's, this is just some examples, but like, with the not being able to see Biden's laptop, um, with Hillary, with the emails and shit. I mean, who's to say, right? Because we're getting our sources from the media, and who's more corrupt than the media? Now, if there was some sort of way we could have like a nonpartisan media that's simply just about facts and just about research and could back that up with documentation and evidence, it'd be great. I don't know if one exists, but if there is, please tell me. I don't really watch TV, I don't watch the news, and I'm not really political because, well, I like to make my own decisions and not be. See, there's a president calling me right now to pat me on the back. President Trump, that is. No, I'm joking. That was weird, though. That was both my phones at the same time. Maybe they are listening. I should probably end this video. No. But yeah, I mean, if there's some sort of corruption in our politics, I definitely think we should fix it. And if it comes down to, what do you call it, a revolution of sorts, where we have to storm capitals and, government official buildings like that to take the power back, then maybe that's what's got to be done. Whether it's President Trump or another president. If it was reversed and Biden, there was evidence, good evidence to support that Biden's, the election was rigged. I feel the same way. Of course, I like Trump a lot better than Biden, but at the same time, any president or any political official that we voted for that lost it due to some sort of fraud or some sort of shady, dishonest, un-American, shit, I think should be dealt with. I did hear that Trump said that he was going to concede, which, is probably, a good thing. I mean, for the people because, well, is it though? I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. Either way, I think that you can be patriotic even if you don't like Trump. I think you can be there to try to uphold truth and liberty and justice, right? Even if Trump's not your favorite guy. I think people get too focused on Trump. And, I've never seen anybody with such Trump deranged syndrome. That shit is real. I mean, I've seen people lose their shit with just the mention of that guy's name. How does that happen? How does somebody dislike a political figure that they've never met, that has no impact on their life, to such a degree where they will, basically shun their friends if they don't agree with them about him, shun their friends and act like they're enemies if that person has different political views and votes for Trump? I've seen this. I've seen people lose their shit. I've seen longtime friends straight up just fucking act like fucking dickheads for no reason. Well, for a reason, because of that Trump deranged syndrome. It almost makes me think that there must have been some sort of something, maybe subliminal, maybe some sort of Maybe these people are just so fucking brain fed by the media that the media is just telling us hate, 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 that they're just triggered that way to run. Basically, robots just triggered. They watch too much shit. I don't know. I don't know. It's speculative, but it's very interesting. I mean, as long as I've been alive. Now, granted, I'm only been paying attention maybe for 20 years, 24 years, 25 years. The last few presidents, I haven't seen anybody lose their shit like this about over Trump. It's like it's almost a point to where it's like neurotic. It's like a mental health issue, and I like the Trump deranged syndrome. I think that's great. Was that Trump deranged TDS Trump deranged syndrome? I like that. I like that. But yeah, I mean, it's really about being, if we're supposed to be a country that other people look up to be uphold democracy, values like liberty and stuff like that, and we got to make sure that the people at the top are keeping to those values. Otherwise, it undermines the whole thing. What's the purpose of having a democracy if our votes don't mean shit because they get bought or thrown away? You guys hear about the California governor got caught accepting bribes from China? That's pretty scary, isn't it? Since I think California probably has, the most electoral votes, possibly, or one of them, right? That's pretty scary. So, what he was being bribed for, I do not know. Again, I don't follow politics. I mean, I read a little bit here and there, but almost on accident when I'm looking for something else. I happen to stumble across something, a headline, and it'll grab my attention. But, yep, it is scary. And I hope that we stand up and take the power back. As Rage Against the Machine said, what, 1994? But I'm sure somebody else said that too. But either way, yeah, I mean, I hope if there's something to be had, if there's liberty to be gained, if there's people to be exposed, if there's truth to be upheld, if there is any chance to rub out injustice and deception, because, I mean, I'm a big, firm believer in the truth, and I almost always tell the truth, even if it's going to hurt me. Like in personal affairs with people and stuff like that. I mean, even when I know I can lie and get out of it, or if I know if I lie, bad things are going to happen to me. Unless we're talking like I'm getting pulled over for a DUI, something like if it's jail time. But if it's something like something that I shouldn't have done that I did, or something I should have said but I said anyway. If it's stuff like that on personal relationships with people, it's very, very rare that I will lie, even if it means that I might lose a friendship, just because I don't know. It's almost what do you call it? It's almost a neurotic behavior. Now that sounds weird, but it's almost like a behavioral hiccup that I can't get over, because there's many times where I wish I would have lied and I couldn't. I just can't. It was just too hard. I'm not saying I've never told a lie in my life. Of course I have, but you know what I'm saying. I'm one of the most honest people you know me, and yeah, I do not like the fact that. Now I know a lot of people think that Trump's just saying this, right, about these votes, about this voting fraud, people being bought off, and maybe he is. Maybe he is just butthurt. Maybe he's just a bad loser, right? I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying I don't have the facts. I'm not going to believe this source of news or this source of news. It is possible. Maybe he's just didn't really want to lose, and he's just dragging his feet, and he's just grasping at straws to try to hold on to what little he has left. Maybe, or maybe he's setting it up because he's going to run again in 2014 or 2024. I mean. Maybe he's just setting it up with a lot of commotion as he walks out the door. So when he comes back, maybe people will know. Who knows? But it is weird too, and a few other things that somebody should talk about. I guess it'll be me. I'm not gonna go into any detail. Might have a podcast about it next week. Is kind of weird how the whole coronavirus thing happened. Like the same year that the election that he could be up for another re-election. And it's like. That kind of swooped in, and that was a huge distraction for the world. A lot of obviously this nation, but for the whole world, we've been in this pandemic. And it's like, a lot of people like myself, just their unemployment ran out December 26th. The bill was signed up until then, right? And it was like knowing that our money was going to run out. We haven't gotten paid a month before that for our unemployment, right? This whole thing's in limbo. I mean, it's just creating a massive amount of anxiety. The coronavirus, the fucking unemployment, the stimulus checks, people losing their jobs, all that shit, and it's just, wonder, it almost seems like that could be it couldn't have been any better of a time if you were anti-Trump, because the problems that the pandemic caused is ultimately going to fall on his shoulders. He could have done this, or I didn't get my check, or this or that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that's a bad luck thing for him to have at the end of a fucking presidency. He's at the term. That is just bad shit. Maybe it was just fucking bad luck. Maybe it was planned that way. Who knows? But yeah, maybe he's grasping straws. Maybe he's not. Maybe Trump is actually the first president that wasn't a fucking politician, that actually couldn't be bought off, that stood up there and fucking was out to expose injustices, and that's why he's not going to get elected again. Is because he won't be told what to do.